Hi there, it's Vanessa Warwick on behalf of the Property Investor Show 2011 with another preview interview, and my next guest is David Lawrenson. And David, I don't know where to start to introduce you actually, because you're founder of lettingfocus.com, you're a property investor and landlord, you're a published author, Successful Property Letting, How to Make Money in Buy-to-Let, and of course you're also a panel member at the Investor Show in March. So welcome.
Yeah.
And you're looking forward to a Property Investor Show? Is it something that you regularly attend?
I always go to the Property Show, Investor Show. I've been going there for, maybe 10 years now. First as a sort of customer, I suppose, and then I've been speaking and on panels later on. So it's something I look forward to, and it's a very important date I was put in my diary and make sure I attend.
Do you think it is important for the property tribes to get together and meet face to face in that sort of environment where there's an educational element, there's a social element? We can get a lot done in those few days, can't we?
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, it's very useful to go along and talk to people, both at go to be at the event there, the panel you're holding, and to talk to other people that you meet at the show too. It's a very useful opportunity, I think.
Who would be your ideal person that you would like to meet at the show?
Well, I do a lot of organisational consulting as well as advising private landlords. So that's a quite a big chunk of my business. So it would be quite nice to meet someone from one of the biggest local authorities, say Birmingham, or one of the large banks who does buy-to-let mortgages, and we talk about how I can help them in respect of developing their private rented sector strategy, because I do a lot of work there. That would be a good meeting to have. But it's also nice to meet. It's also good to meet private landlords too. And I still do a bit of this one-to-one advice with private landlords, because actually it's quite fun usually, and it's always nice to sort of help people on a sort of private landlords as well as just as well as the organisational stuff I do. It's kind of nice, and you always learn stuff from speaking to private landlords. You'll always learn something, even from people who are relative novices as well. So it's good.
Absolutely, because sometimes they can just ask a really challenging question that makes you think outside the box. So it is good to interact with other people, and I think that's really how we learn and grow. Is that something that people can get if they go and look at lettingfocus.com?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just the blog I wrote this week, I do a blog once a week, and the blog itself was inspired by this one. Last week was, for example, inspired by someone who works for a local council in Exeter who has some issues, and that made me think. That created the spark of an idea, and looking into some of the things that the mortgage lending banks do or don't do in respect of the lower income end of buy-to-let. So that gave me the spark of that idea. And so when I meet private landlords, I usually come away with some idea, and I usually think something new to put in the book, or something to go and check. I'm not sure you did it. And this is the danger, because when you're holding a panel, someone will inevitably ask a question, you'll maybe need to go away and check it, because you don't necessarily have everything in our heads. I'm sure you get that from time to time.
Of course.
That's the way we learn, so as you say.
Absolutely. What do you think the issues will be, what's going to be on people's minds at the big fat property debate, do you think? Because there's been for instance, some very high profile bankruptcies of late with people that were considered experts in their field. Do you think people are going to be talking about that? Yeah,
I think people will be talking about it. Certainly people have been to the show before. Anyone who's new into buy-to-let investment or becoming a landlord, really needs to sort of understand that perhaps some of the gurus in the past, perhaps their halo's fallen a little bit. But whilst they should be talking about that, there was also lots of very good advice at the show, so I wouldn't lose sight of that. But I expect there will be people talking about that, as you say, yes.
Absolutely, and I mean, in the panel debate, anybody can take the mic, and I think that's a really nice aspect of it, that it's not elitist and it's not a row of people being set up as gurus. It's everybody just sharing the wisdom of crowds. Is that something that appeals to you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I do occasionally run some seminars of my own, and it does, having an open discussion and people just being able to talk and raise questions and to discuss and debate issues really does help. And it's much better having that than just having somebody talking to you with a few questions at the end. So having a group of people, as I know you've got on the panel, I think you've got James Davis himself and others, and then also the audience interaction. You probably, I think people get quite a lot out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice would you give to somebody attending the show to get the best out of it?
Talk to as many people as you can.
Take some business cards.
Take some business cards, that's right. Yeah, that's a very good example.
You said you were quite specific about the stands that you went on, that
Yes.
you had it all planned out in advance, and that
Yeah.
sounds very methodical and organised.
Yeah, there's certain people that stands. I always go to see Property Investment News. Richard Bowser's
Oh, Richard
stand.
Bowser, yes.
Yeah,
Hello,
that's
Richard.
pretty good. And some of the others too. I always check those out. But just go and talk to as many people as you can. I would perhaps maybe think about going and checking things out afterwards. So don't rush into things. And listen to everything people got to say to you. Take it with a pinch of salt, but don't be non-trusting, but don't be too trusting at the same time. But go there with an open mind to learn, and do research afterwards. And then it's after you've done that afterwards, perhaps it's time then if you want to take your checkbook out and hand over some money to somebody. But do check out people who are there first, and make sure that you're comfortable with what you're doing and that you understand what investment you're getting into.
Okay, brilliant. So thank you very much for that, David. Clearly there may be people watching this that would like to arrange to meet with you ahead of the show. Can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, if they go to my site, which is www.lettingfocus.com, that's LETTINGFOCUS,
Yeah.
lettingfocus.com. See, it fails the radio test, but...
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen for you.
Terrific, thank you. Go there and then contact me there, and I can see if I can help them in any way I can.
All right, brilliant. So I'm very much looking forward to your contributions on the panel. It's great to have you on board. That's David Lawrenson of lettingsfocus.com, and watch out for David at the show. Thank you very much for watching.